I'm back with another episode of Sips and Rips. Maybe Rips and Sips, Sips and Rips. I don't know. One of the two, if not both. I thought I'd talk to you about the vote. I got out and voted, and it's kind of one of them things that I feel I did all that I can do. It's not enough. It doesn't change really anything. But I did what I could do. I went out and checked the boxes on my piece of paper and voted my conscience. So I feel all right with that. And in the spirit of Uncle Bobby, who, if you're not subscribed to Gin and Truth, I would recommend subscribing to Gin and Truth. I'm just gonna wing it here and do a couple rips, a couple sips, tell you what's on my mind, and save the rest for another episode, I guess. That's how you start the morning out. I saw some of the results this morning. Fetterman won, beat out Dr. Oz, which is a good thing. That shows me anyways that the celebrity, the whole idea of electing celebrities as public political officials is maybe hopefully waning a little bit, and maybe I hope that's a dying trend. But I guess back in the day, like Reagan was one of the first. He was some actor that got elected, and then the Republicans think he's some form of fucking Christ or some shit. But I would say back on topic, but there ain't really one this morning, so glad to all my subscribers that went out and voted, participated in the process. Any of y'all that didn't, I ain't gonna shame you. That ain't what I'm about here. Not shaming you for not voting. I would just encourage you to get your shit together, get registered, and vote on the primaries in 24, because that'll be the next shit show. It looks like that crazy ass Carrie Lake looks like she lost by a lot. So, and I'm kind of anxious to see if they just keep denying that they lost. If that's going to be their strategy from here on out, is if they get their ass kicked in the polls, they're just going to not concede and basically throw a 5-year-old fucking temper tantrum and say that they want recounts until they win or whatever the fuck. Whatever Trump was trying to do this past thing, that he knows he lost. Like, that shit, that's a whole nother fucking can of worms. Like, he knows he lost. He was calling around trying to get people to make votes appear for him. He was doing that because he won? Because he was so sure that he won Georgia? He called him and told him to make sure they had however many thousand votes? No. Motherfucker knew he lost. Like, anybody that believes that motherfucker got robbed, and like, that's, maybe I'll talk about that. The whole, the strong man being simultaneously being the victim. Because that's a big thing in the right-wing atmospheres, is they want you to think they're this masculine man. They're strong. They do all the manly things. And then, as soon as something doesn't go their way, they don't win the vote. Or the candidate they endorse don't win the vote or whatever. As soon as that shit don't go their way, they're the victim now. They're the strong man. They're the one that's going to protect you, and they're going to do all the things that are good, and they're strong and manly, and but they're also the victim, and they're all these people are just ganging up on them and just beating them up. And what can they do? They're just these. It's just poor little Donnie. It's just poor little Donnie Trump, and he can't even defend himself against all these attacks. And they went down there and they raided his home. That ain't his fucking home. It's a public golf course that moron had classified documents in. And top secret classified documents and shit like that, I know a little bit about. And I'm not being sarcastic saying a little and I know a bunch. I know a little itty bit about. I used to have a clearance. And the only thing I was cleared on was relevant weapon systems and guidance systems for vehicles and shit that I would be in contact with as an infantry soldier. And it was to know how they worked, and it was to know what parts to destroy if I came upon one that was shot down, if I was in one that got exploded with an IED or some shit. And there's sensitive items in there, radios, targeting systems, different shit like that. I would, if I were alive after such an attack, I would put a grenade, an incendiary device onto those items and destroy them so they don't get into enemy hands. With that said, that was what my clearance dealt with. And it was compartmentalized in the way that, yes, I was able to see information about those particular classified items. Now, could I, specialist dipshit, say, okay, I got a top secret clearance on these 5 things, the Abrams tanks targeting system. So we'll say that I want to now. I now want to take my little top secret clearance that I have that is for an M1 Abrams targeting system, and I want to go to the fucking, you name it. I want to go to the fucking CIA headquarters and go in there and read their top secret documents, because I got a top secret clearance, right? So I can just go in there and read anything that has top secret. No, that's not how it fucking works. And for old Donnie Boy to fucking get and say that basically that's how it works, that he can just classify and declassify things at a whim whenever the fuck he wants, just with his mind, because his mind is so powerful. Donald Trump is a high functioning moron that has handlers that are running around in a panic most of the time trying to get him to say and do the right things, and he just don't do it. So when he starts saying that he declassified things, he's squirming and flailing around like a little kid that got caught with their hand in the fucking cookie jar. He's a dumbass. But like back, what I was saying was, this is to put in perspective what a top secret clearance can entail. Like, I could not take my top secret clearance for the 3 or 5 items that I was cleared on and then go to other organizations, other military installations, other places, and then say, hey, I'm going to have to take a look at your top secret documents here. Oh, yeah. Here's my clearance on the M1 Abrams tank. I now need to know all the shit that happened with 9/11. I need to know, is there aliens in Roswell? I need to know. No, that ain't the fuck how it works. And Donnie has a fucking 5-year-old's understanding of what these fucking things are, obviously. And he was our fucking president. So, also what I was getting at is all the shit that I was privy to is now declassified. What does that mean? That means you can go look on fucking YouTube. You can go look up the archives and see all the bullshit that I, back in the mid to late 90s, had clearances on. Well, all that shit's declassified now. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, I can't... Now my little fucking top secret clearance that I had back then means extra special nothing. It means absolutely fucking nothing now, because all that shit is declassified and basically public information. You can go look at the fucking Abrams tank. You can watch YouTube videos on it. That's how that shit works in a little chunk of how that works. Of what just some dude that was in the infantry, that I wasn't privy to much. So that's kind of low level how that shit works. And it continues to keep working like that. Even as far as what I understand, I was not, I wasn't involved in this shit. But your high level Delta operators, your high level CIA guys, they are going to have clearances on pertinent information to their mission, to their operation. If I'm on a mission over here doing something in Afghanistan, and we got another CIA operation going on in, you name it, fucking Sierra Leone. We got somebody down there. We are not, unless the extremist Muslim organizations that we are following and blah blah blah, unless they are communicating with each other, and then we get crossed that way, and we realize, oh shit, fifth group's up there with those guys. We need to contact them, and now we can share information. We can share our classified things, so we can converge on the same thing, because now our objectives have become one almost. These are just loose bullshit hypotheticals as to why there would be some kind of overlap as to where I could see a top secret thing or know a top secret thing that this other operating group knows. That would be the only reason, is if I was directly involved and needed to be briefed on these things. Otherwise, I don't know shit about what they're doing, because it's all on a need to know basis. I don't fucking need to know it. If it's not absolutely essential to my mission, then I don't fucking need to know it. And that is a built-in security system, because if I get captured, I will only know the information that I know that's pertinent to my mission, probably what I got captured doing. So I just got to keep that story straight and evade my captors verbally by giving them little pieces of fake information and sending them basically on wild goose chases, and probably getting my ass beat in the meantime, while giving them disinformation and misinformation instead of actual information. So, kind of got in the weeds there, but that's just kind of the world of that shit. And I know a very limited, very, very limited scope of it. So when you get these fucking maggot morons saying, oh, he could just declassify things as... No, he fucking couldn't. What I was getting at in that prior story was, if I got captured, then I only know my information. I don't know third group's fucking information. I don't know their classified secrets. So if I start getting beaten and fucking tormented and asked about their shit, I don't know it. So I can just, I don't know. I don't fucking know. All I would know is whatever the fuck I knew that was relevant to my mission. But yeah, back to the maggot thing. These are morons, and you'll see a lot of them dressing in tactical gear and pretending that they're fucking, that they're some kind of high level operator. They're not. They're pretending. They're playing dress up with their toys. Their AR-15 is their Barbie doll. They can buy the accessories, and they can put the new wigs on it and the new dresses and the new things. It's their toy. It's a little thing they have, which I don't give a fuck. If there weren't mass shootings going on at a fucking crazy clip, I wouldn't give a shit. I think there should be strict regulations on who the fuck should get guns and who shouldn't. But that's a fucking rabbit hole for another day. And I'm pro Second Amendment. I own guns, so like I'm not what they want. I am not the crazy lib that is anti-gun. No, I'm trained with them. I know what the fuck they are. I know what they do, and I know that if you give somebody that's untrained one of those weapons, an M4 or AR-15. They they're gonna use it however the fuck they use it, which is usually just, if it's a mass shooting situation, it's ducks in a barrel and it's disgusting, and I don't see why they do this shit other than just mental illness and a lack of any sort of fucking humanity or future for themselves. Like it's all fucking insane. But that's not what I was doing. I was back on topic. See, I invoked Uncle Bobby, and yeah, I'm getting it. So back on topic with the maggots and their misunderstanding of what classified and unclassified is. Yeah, you can't just unclassify things as the president. I'm not sure exactly what the process is, but I'm pretty sure it involves you talking to the generals and the military officials that are involved, the Joint Chiefs of Staff and whatnot. And then you talk about what you can declassify, because that shit is a matter of national security. So now you got this asshole. Yeah, we'll wrap it back around to where I was. Down in Mar-a-Lago, which is a golf course that he rents out to the Saudi prince, to all these foreign nationals and dignitaries and shit. And he had our top secret documents in basically what is equivalent to my fucking food pantry with a little fucking padlock on it. Now, it would be conspiracy theory for me to say, or conspiracy hypothesis, as my friend Tobin correctly stated, to say that he was selling those secrets. I don't think he sold it to him. I think he rented it out. I think maybe he would rent out. They could walk into that room and look at shit. Maybe pull their phone out, take a picture of it. All that shit is different levels of illegality that he would be facing. So I'm very interested, and with the election over with right now, because that's what they told him with all these lawsuits and shit is, hey, we'll call the dogs off until the election's over, which I don't understand. That's bullshit. If that was one of us, we'd be in jail. If that was us, we had boxes and boxes of top secret documents, and we were still refusing to give them all up, and they still don't know where the fuck they all are and all that shit. Oh, you would be in jail. You'd be getting waterboarded in Fort fucking Leavenworth right now. They might tell you they don't do that shit. I guarantee you they would have your ass ratchet strapped upside down to a fucking board, and you'd be getting water and probably chemicals dumped in your face and threaten to get them lit on fire afterwards. They would not be fucking around. So I don't understand what exactly is going to happen to this little doughy turd, but I can't imagine it's going to be good. But hey, I've been disappointed before at my government, so I'm not going to be too surprised if they don't do nothing to the little fat shithead and just kind of slap him on the wrist. If they get their documents back, if they got all the documents back, I could see them maybe letting him go with a slap on the wrist and probably telling him, hey, you're never allowed to run for president again. I could see that being the bare minimum, bare bones of what they would do to him. But I can't. It's some serious shit, man. Like the security of our nation. Like, we're already in constant attack from Russia via the internet. Like, they're always spreading disinformation and misinformation through Facebook, through Twitter, through especially Twitter now that Musk is involved and was tweeting to the Russian generals about their fight in Ukraine or whatever the fuck. Which, Slava Ukraine, glory to Ukraine, fuck Russia. You're seeing that shit play out too. You're seeing that paper tiger get fucking lit on fire over there too. I'll dip my toes into that bullshit too. Paper tigers, North Korea, paper tiger. China, paper tiger. Russia, paper tiger. Who are Donnie Trump's favorite dictators. Kim, Vladdy Poots, and Xi. He always praises, oh, they're smart. They know all these things. They're bullies. They're dictators. They're pieces of shit. And we see the genius of Vladimir Putin right now. We see the genius in all his fucking glory. Russia's strongest shirtless pony boy, Vladdy Poots, is over there sticking his dick in the mud, just fucking up. Strategically, he fucked up in amazing fashion. And is continuing to fuck up in amazing fashion. I've watched brutal videos of the Ukrainians just laying Russians to waste. And a lot of the first wave of Russians that went in were like their Spetsnaz, their high trained elite top tier operators. The Ukrainians decimated them. The Ukrainians fucked them up. And like when I was in the military, they used to try to you would hear shit, and it was probably propaganda back then that people were believing, that these Spetsnaz dudes were just fucking insane. They were these giant Russian bears of men that they would just murder you, and they were just like ninjas. They were just like 350-pound gorilla ninjas that would just slip into the dead of night and murder you in your sleep, and you'd never even know they were there. Turns out that shit don't exist, and the Ukrainians are just fucking them up. Like, I don't even know that they have a fucking Spetsnaz to speak of anymore. They don't even have a navy to speak of anymore. All we did was hand the fucking Ukrainians some Javelin missiles. And they did it themselves. It ain't us over there doing this shit for them. The Ukrainians are some tough motherfuckers. And the Russians are finding this out the hard way. So, hoo-ah, Ukraine. Get them. Fucking take it to their ass. What, they're running away? Take it to their fucking ass some more. Send them running away with their asses on fire. Fuck them, dude. But, yeah. And the maggots all believe the bullshit. That's how you know they're fucking morons. They believe all this fucking Russian propaganda that they get fed. And they think Vladimir Putin's like this strong leader. And like he's doing good over there. Morons. But, anyway. Back on the topic of politics. You know, shit. That's how you lose friends. But, Trump is flailing right now. And I guarantee you he's losing his mind because the Republicans, there was no red wave. There wasn't a red wave. I mean, the votes are still getting tallied and shit, but thus far, no red tsunami. I wouldn't call it a blue wave, but the blue was outweighing the red last time I looked. So now what's that tell me? That tells me that the more these assholes get in charge of shit, or the more they're running, slowly but surely, the left-leaning people. I'm not even going to call them Democrats. No, you know, hopefully majority Democrats or whatever, but left-leaning people. I'm an independent, but I'm very left-leaning. I lean left on everything except the Second Amendment. And the only reason that I don't lean further to the left on it is because of just the sheer numbers of guns that are in our population right now. Like 10 years ago, I seen a stat that said there were enough AR-15s in circulation for every American to own 3. You're not putting the poop back in the donkey with that one. That shit's out. Unless there is some insane buyback, which I am pro buyback. But you would have to give everyone like $5,000. And this price will increase as the years go on. As it sits right now, you would have to give people an absorbent amount. You would have to give them more than what their weapon is worth. Now, the government ain't going to want to do that. They're not going to want to fund that. But that's what you would have to do. And a lot of people sink a lot of money into these things. With the optics and all the fancy shit. Like I said, it's a Barbie doll for fucking insecure men. Like, you get all these fucking bells and whistles and EOTech sights and infrared fucking shit, and you gotta get your helmet and your fucking plate carrier and all this shit. And these motherfuckers, half of them don't know what to use. Their shit's put on wrong. It's on backwards and upside down. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know how to clean their weapons. They don't know shit about shit. But it's a market. It's capitalism. You sell people these things. So it's, if there was a very pro the citizen buyback to where you could buy back AR-15s at a very high price. You could offer very high amounts of money for them. I think that could work. That could get some of them off the street anyway. But it's going to lead to crime. It's going to lead to all kinds of shit. It's going to lead to people trying to steal AR-15s from people to sell back. It's going to lead to, there's always shit. No good deed goes unpunished. So I think you would run into that shit too. But I forget how I even got to that. It was through MAGA and all that bullshit, some fucking how. And the big problem there is they romanticize war. They romanticize violence. And anyone that's been to war and been in violent situations, no, it's not. It's not what they think it is. It's not romantic. It's not this Rambo movie that they fucking think it is. It's not this, you name it, fucking Chris Kyle fucking wet dream that they fucking have. Nah. There's sights and sounds and smells that go with that shit that you will never forget. And these fuckers act like it's a movie. It's a movie to them, and that is what it is to them. If you watch the insurrection on January 6th, they were all stacking and doing it wrong. They were all doing half-assed tactical maneuvers improperly, and the media was losing their mind because they didn't know what the fuck they were looking at. So they thought they were, this tactical units do it. No, they're fucking not. They look like jokers. To any of us that know what the fuck we're looking at, they look like jokers. They look like fucking morons. And I would love to see that stack of individuals come around the corner to me, flagging their weapon around.